everybody. It's Lo from Custom Creations by Lo. So I have several things, or a couple things I want to do today. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm wanting to do this mold. I think I ordered this off either Amazon or Temu. But it's like a large powder box. This is the top. And this is the bottom. Now, it did come with this piece of styrofoam in the bottom to kind of help keep it in its shape. And I'm going to leave that in there so when we pour, it'll still have that. But that's the inside of the bottom. Like I said, it kind of reminds me of like a large powder box or, you know, something like that. Now, I've had this mold a while. I have not poured this one before. I will probably do this one in epoxy resin, Bond Crafter 1-to-1. I really wanted to do it in this Aluminite casting resin. It cures and turns white in 10 minutes. I've had it a while, that's why it's a little yellow. However, I don't have enough, I believe, to do these this box. So I'll find another mold that's not quite as large, because that's probably going to be, let's see, this is probably going to be about 4 ounces that I have. It is a 1-to-1. I bought this from Michael's. It's been a while, obviously, like I said, because the hardener is actually turned yellow. But it does cure really quick. So whatever I use for it, I do want to use something smaller so that, you know, something that's decent size to use it up so it doesn't go, you know, totally wasted. But I do want to go ahead and get this mixed, painted. I'm going to use the Lich Resin Original Chrome Powders. There are 10 colors. I believe I've shown this before, but so I'm not going to go through all the colors. If you want to look up and see what colors that are in the original box, you can go to their website, which I do have an affiliate code or a discount code so that you can go and get yourself some money off. But they're all very pretty. So I want to start with, I think, because it's crazy. The bottom part of it reminds me of, you know, like a poinsettia. But the top, it has stars in it. There's like 1, 2, 3. Let's see. Let me think. 1, 2, 5 stars. This is a star. That's a star. Another star. Another star. Another star. So it's kind of, you know, I don't know which way to go. So I've decided to go with the red in the chrome powder box. It is red. I don't know that I've used this before, so I do store my mica powders upside down, so I always take time to tap the, you know, the jar as well as the lid so that I don't have a bunch of overpour. Now, I am wearing gloves because sometimes, you know, painting things up can be a little messy, and I just prefer not to have this on my hands. So this is the red. It's very, very pretty. I will start off painting this with you, and then I'll probably put you on a fast forward while I finish it because it's probably going to take me just a little bit of time. So I am going to start with the center part here that looks like a poinsettia, and start that with the brush that actually came with this kit. Just using what's in the lid. As you can see there, it's very, very pretty. Try not to make too much of a mess. So I hope everybody is doing awesome today. It's been fairly pretty here today. It does look like it's trying to get a storm going. Wind's kind of picked up. the skies got dark, so I don't know. We may or may not get any rain. And I'm sorry if you see me going like this a bunch. My wrist is absolutely killing me. But we can't let it get in the way. Such a pretty color. And remember, whatever color touches your mold first will be the color that you see. So once we get this done painted, then we will definitely, oops, like just now, I just spilled some powder from my brush. So I will definitely be cleaning that up. Now another color that I was watching a resin artist use, I want to say perhaps it was Linda at Linda's Resin Room, or Tammy had epoxy me that, but it was, I think it was Tammy. She had some candy apple red mica powder that was absolutely gorgeous, and I think she said she got that off Laura's art corner. So I am definitely going to check that out because it was beautiful, you know, before being put into the resin. And then once the resin was put on top of it, it was very, very pretty. That's where we're at right now. So I'll go ahead and finish these petals, and then I'll probably put you on a time lapse because, like I said, this is going to take me a while between doing the cleanup and getting it all brushed on, because I don't just want, you know, one color or anything like that. Ooh, man. I really bet someone to brush that time. And with this chrome powder that I'm using, this particular color, if you look close enough, you can actually see like little flakes of, or sparkles of green, some gold. Okay. Alright, so that's that color. And like I said, I'm going to put you on a fast forward while I get the rest of this painted up. So we'll get it done. OMG, I'm so sorry. I knocked over my camera trying to reach some sticks. When I tell you that glue is probably not ideal for this, because this sucker is baking like a cake. It poofed up. I don't know if you can see this yet or not. See right here how the side, it poofed up like I was baking a cake or something. And so, and I can hear it popping and doing all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, the glue, glue and regular epoxy resin makes it cure a little faster, than you want sometimes. But when I tell you, it definitely, yeah, it stinks. It made this pop up like a cake brownie or cake something going out of style. Y'all can see that, right? Hear that? That was a learning lesson for all of us, or maybe just me. I don't know. But it kind of looks like concrete with sparkles, which would be okay. But I mean, this isn't even. You can't even call it trim, because this is beyond trim. This, I mean, once it's demolded, we'll see. But that was exciting in a weird kind of way. I mean, it's still very hot. You can feel it in there. Never would I have guessed that I would have a resin cake. Now, was it the glue? Probably. Could it have been because this stuff is so old? Maybe. But I really think there was more to the glue. Maybe if I had stayed with the 2 drops of glue. But that was fun. I'm not gonna lie, that was fun. Have anybody else had this experience? Have you done this? And had this happen? I mean, it's cured. We are going to let it cool down, though. Before I do anything else with it. Might as well take the sticks out now, because they're not going to help anything. So while we wait for this to cool down, I'm going to go ahead and mix the resin up for this bowl or trinket tray that I painted a little while ago, so we can get it done. And then once we get that poured and stuff, maybe our concrete tray here will cool down. I'm telling y'all, I just have to laugh, because that was cool. I mean, when I had my very first fast cure, or whatever you want to call it, accidentally with regular epoxy resin. I about had a panic attack. But that was fun. That was fun. Can y'all see this? I mean, this is just... We won't be saving this cup or stick. I'm just curious to see what it looks like. Yeah, that is literally how fast that stuff cured. Which is great, unless you add glue. Yeah, I'm not going to try to cure, clean this cup. I'd be here, Lord knows how long I'd be here. So in the trash it goes. All right, so now that we've had our excitement, let's get all this stuff out of our way. And just as a reminder, I painted this box with the Litz Resin original chrome powders. So set those over there out of the way. This hardener from that casting resin, I'm just going to put in the trash because it's kind of gloopy at the bottom. And I can't remember if I shook this or not, but yeah. We'll put it in the trash because I am not going to use it. All right, so let's get our epoxy resin. Next up, it's going to be Bond Crafter 1:1, Part A, Part B. B is your hardener. And I think we're going to need a lot. Probably going to need at least 2 ounces for the lid and probably 3 to 4 just for the box. So, if you didn't see earlier, I took the Litz Resin Chrome Powders. I painted all this up, painted the lid up. It kind of looked to me like a Christmas box, so that's why I did the colors I did. That looks like a poinsettia. This looked like stars and the flower in the center. So, we'll see. We shall see. So let's get to mixing. Hold tight. Bad news. My camera had shut off while I was mixing the resin and poured it, and then it's gone. I mean, it's done. So I apologize for that. Really, what's going on here? Really, it was just, mixing up the Bond Crafter 1:1, Part A, Part B, B being your hardener. And then I, poured it and demolded it. Now, I mentioned this on another video about this mold being wonky, or if it was me. This, set this out of the way for right now. This is the mold. Like I showed you when I painted it, this is the top. That's the jar part. Several things. I noticed on the mold, on the piece, that it kind of had like a bulging out section. I don't know if you can see that right there, which I didn't think about it until after I had poured the piece, and then I realized that it did it because this side of the mold is not good. So that's one issue with this mold. Had it not been for that and the wonkiness I'm getting to show you, it'd probably been gorgeous. So, as you know, when I poured this, or when I painted it, I showed you this was the top, that's the bottom. This sets, well, thinks it should sit like this because this has a little lip on it, which fits just inside as a lid would. And let me get it in there, I'll show you what I'm talking about. What if I can get my fingers to work with my brain here? Okay, there we go. So, it has a lip on the bottom that sets into the top of the jar, so that lid's not going anywhere. That's what I thought. But when I demolded the piece, I realized that that lid doesn't fit on there. Like this. And that's where that lip is. Now, so this is the jar as it's poured. Took it out. That's that painted piece. That's the inside piece. With us turning it the right way, the painted top piece up, that lid just slides all over the place. It doesn't, there's no lip here to have it hold on to. Nothing. So I thought, well, maybe it's this way. As you can see, it sits that way. But then you have the bottom piece that's just whatever color you pour the resin in. So that is being hidden inside. I can't imagine, even if this didn't have this little bulge in it over here, there's the bulge that I was telling you about. You see that right there? On the molded. But even if that wasn't there, this still has nothing to grab onto. It just would slide. So am I right thinking that this lip here also should have been on that side? So when you set it, it would sit, sit on there? Or is that right? Because that just doesn't make sense to me to where it would not have anything to grab it. And I think that's why I thought this was like a powder box. Old-fashioned powder box. You have your powder in there, the big poofy. But that doesn't make sense to me. Because I would want my lid, my lid to sit in there just like it does this way. So, the colors turned out really, really pretty. I think, that green on there is gorgeous. And here it's gorgeous. The outside is very, very pretty. And this little bowing in here, it doesn't affect the interior of the bowl, but you can see it on the outside. So, what do you guys think? Am I right? Should this have had a lip on this side so it sat in here? Or do you think they messed up and put this on the wrong side and it should have been up here. So anyway, so let me know in the comments what you think. So I'm calling this my Wonky Mold. I also promised you a bonus lesson. Let me get this out of my way. On how to make your own tassels. Bear with me just a second. Let me grab everything. So this is the tassel, like I had showed you on the bookmarks I had made. This is the tassel. So I have myself just a little piece of cardboard here, a pair of scissors, and this cording. I got this at Hobby Lobby. Is it like $3.99 or something like that? So we're just going to unwrap some in here just to make it easier on ourselves. And then before I start, I like to get my lighter. I like to just take the end of it and go ahead and just kind of melt that little tip down, like so. So that way it's not rattling. And then you're going to take it, I'll try to show you. You're going to take it, get it even with the edge or the end of your cardboard. You're going to bring it around, wrap over top of that first piece. Try to keep that held up there so it stays nice and tight and even. And you can wrap this as many times as you want. It just depends upon how full you want your tassel to be. So I'm going to do it about 6-7 times. Okay. So there we go. Now you want to stop at the same end, if possible, that you started at. So I'm going to go one more time and bring it up around that back. And then I'm going to snip it. Like that. I'm going to lay that down. And now this is the part that you're going to want to determine how long you want your hanger to be. So I'll take it and double it like that. Go ahead and snip that off. And again, I'm going to just kind of melt these little ends. Nice and neat. Now, grab your cardboard piece. Try to hold it tight. You can see that's the tip of it. So now we flipped it upside down from where we started, because we're going to be cutting that. So you can use whatever you want to get that cording into the top part. And then try to get them as even as possible. Okay? And then, get that piece down. Then what you're going to do is kind of squeeze it at the top there. And you're going to tie it in a knot. And again, you're going to try to keep your two pieces even. That slips some. Okay, so we're just going to tie it once. Pull it tight. And do it again. So basically like a double knot. Okay. And I got off a little bit, which that's okay. So now at the other end of your cording, you're going to take your scissors to the very bottom and cut them. You're done with that cardboard. So now you can see you have your tassel. Take one more little piece, about what you think is going to be equal to your tassels, what I try to do, fold that in half, and I'll show you why here in just a minute. Again, just snip it at the bottom, melt those ends. And I know people do them all different kinds of ways. This is just how I do mine. So I'm not the, you know, the goddess of all these. That's just the way it works for me. So now I'm going to take my tassel bottom, and I'm just going to, again, we're just going to kind of make a knot. Now before you pull that tight, get everything pulled down to where you want, so it's even, and tie it, and then tie it, flip it around and tie it on the back. Now, those pieces, if you tie it correctly, will blend in with the rest of your tassel. Now you can see it's a little bit long. You know, some are a little shorter, some are a little longer. So all you have to do then is just decide what length you want it. I'm going to go for like here. That way it pretty much reaches all of, you just sharpen my scissors. I'll get some new ones, because that one is not wanting to cut. There we go. So then once we've done that, I'm just going to kind of fan them out a little bit. Handy dandy lighter. Now, you don't have to do this. If you want to separate the strands so it's fuzzy, by all means, you can do that. I just usually will just go, again, just down to the tips of them, just to melt them a little bit. So I don't want them raveled. Now you have your tassel. So the last step is going to be this end. I'm going to go ahead and cut those even. I'm just going to wrap it around my finger, make a little knot. Slide the knot up, 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 up as far as you can go. And you're going to want this knot kind of small, so to fit into your, you know, the hole of your bookmark, unless you don't mind drilling it out and making that hole a little bit bigger. So there's our tassel. So then, like, let's say, let me see. Let me do this, because I have more cardboard. I'm just going to act like this is my bookmark. I'm going to put a decent sized hole in here, kind of what you would have on your bookmark, like that. And you're going to take your end here, and this is why I melted those ends, is so, actually I need, yep, they should be good. That way you can get them into your hole. Trying to get them in, well, let me do this just a little bit more. There we go. Here we go. So it's in there, and then you just kind of pull that little knot through. So now it's on. And then you're going to take your tassel end, this end, and you're going to put it in the hole of your hanger. Now, I usually cut this little tip up, this end off up here. You don't have to. You can leave it if you want. We'll pretend like that's our bookmark. And there you go. You've got yourself a tassel. And remember, you can use yarn. You can use this type of cording. Whatever you want to make it with. It ain't going to hurt anything. But easy breezy. And there you go. So let me know if you have any questions. I know, like I said, that there are others out there do them a little bit differently. That's fine. I just wanted to show you the way I do mine. And we call it done. All right, my friends, please like, share, comment, subscribe. Thank you to all my subscribers that I have now and to the new ones that have just came on. You are certainly appreciated. Thank you to my channel supporters. You all mean the world to me. And I'm looking forward to the next video. And I hope that you enjoy it. Again, please share, subscribe. And if you're led to do so, in my description box, along with any discount codes that I may have and the products I used, you will also find my email, which if you want to make custom orders, you can email me there. Just in your title, just put what, that you're wanting to order, etc., whatever. And the information like colors that you may want or styles, that kind of thing. Also, my Amazon wish list is on there. So, again, if you feel led to help support my channel, then please check it out. Thank you again for being here, and you all have a great day. Bye.